and she has a 30-day devotional. And every day she sends me videos about encouraging. I'm sure all of you guys get those videos, right? And encouraged by Desmarie. It's like it's that little reminder of like, I might be going through it, but I can do this. God's got me. I got a sisterhood that can help me out, right? And so to speak a little more about that, to share their testimony, we have Miss Lorenza Zia, also known as Lolo. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Lorenzia. You can call me Lulu. Lolo. I want to share my testimony. I'm terrified, but I'm gonna get through it. I got Desmarie's book. My dad bought the book for me. I had lost my mom. I had just buried my grandma like 2 years apart. I'm 21, 22. I'm not the oldest sibling. I'm just the only girl. So I had to do this all by myself. And doing that, I didn't get to grieve properly. So I was angry. I was angry with God. And I grew up in church. My mom took me to church. I stopped praying. I didn't understand why would he take my support system away. So I lashed out. I was just wilding out. I was doing everything. My dad said, hey, like, I can't encourage you. I don't know how to encourage you. Here's a book you like to read. Read the book. Never looked at the author's name on the book. Open the book. I go through the book. I'm going through choices. I'm like, I'm making the wrong choice. I have to change the choices in my life. I went through the 30-day devotional. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I know they're gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. I did it. Fast forward, in my 30s, late 30s, I've adopted 2 kids. I decide that the relationship that I'm in isn't a safe space. It's not for a safe space for me and my kids. So I was living in LA and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna move to Riverside. I'm gonna have a new start. It's easy said than done. It didn't happen that way. So I'm motel hopping. I'm stressed out. My kids are getting bussed out. I'm working from a motel room. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm at the point where I just like want to give up. I'm dealing with my Section 8 advisor, which is Desmarie. Remember, I have the book. I met the book before I met Desmarie. Connection never made the connection. Haven't made the connection yet. It's Christmas time, and I'm reading my kids' Christmas letters, and I'm like, oh, they probably want a ton of stuff. I get to my son's Christmas letter. He's 8. He's like, dear Santa, I want 2 things. I want headphones because my sister's too loud and mom sings too loud. And the first thing he asked for, he said, I need you to have God give my mom back her faith. I'm reading the letter and I'm in tears now at this point. I break down because why is my 8-year-old asking for faith for me? So the next day I'm like, I mailed the letters off, but I want to ask you about your letter. Why did you ask Santa for my faith? And he's like, I'm sorry, Mom. And I'm like, no, you're not in trouble. I just want to know why'd you ask him? Because we go to church and you pray with us. He's like, but I don't think you have faith in what you're praying for because that's it. And I'm like, why do you say that? He's like, Mom, because I know you're overwhelmed. I know when you're crying, you don't want us to see that you cry, but you're not believing that God's He's going to do it, right? That's what you said. He's going to do it. And this is my 8-year-old telling me he's going to do it. I'm like, okay, I have to change something. Something's got to change. My dad calls. He's like, hey, I got a box. You want to go through the box? Put some stuff in the box. First thing in the box. But this time when I look at the book, I look at the author's name. Desmarie. And we don't have a good relationship at this point because I was so angry what was going on in my life. I took it out on her. I was so nasty and rude to her, and that's nothing that I'm proud of, but I was so nasty and like rude to her for no reason because of things that were going on in my life. This is the same person I had to, like, I literally called her, or did I email you or call you? I think I emailed you.
You emailed me, and you asked me, what could you do to me?
Yeah.
And I asked you, I'm blown away, because she was nasty to me. I'm blown away because she was nasty to me. But God was doing something in me too, because He was saying to me not to do her any wrong. Like, I'm like, God, you see what you doing? Even when we were sitting in meetings, I go, how you doing? She would not say a word to me, not fine, nothing. And God said to me, don't you say anything to her at all. Even when I would leave out of the meeting and I was like, one of my coworkers, he was like, don't you say nothing. And so I kept quiet. And 2 months had passed by during that time, but this is after I'd given her her voucher. And then she emailed me and asked me what could she do to renew our faith. I had to share my faith with her. I never told her about my faith. So that blew me away. And I said, I'm gonna call you, I'm not gonna email you. So I called her and I said, why did you ask me that question? And she said, I read your book. So I'm gonna let you take it.
This is the second time. The second time. I was like, Dad, did you know this? And I told you how mean she was. And he was like, no, I didn't. But it didn't seem like she was being mean, but it wasn't my place to tell you what she was doing or what happened. He was just there to listen. So this was like the start of my journey with Desmarie in the book the second time. The first time I read the book, it was just words that I needed to get through and to get out of a situation. The second time reading the book, I knew I had to change something. I had to change. I couldn't repeat the same thing. I had to put actions behind the words. If I was gonna make a choice, I had to be obedient to God. I had to know God's words. Desmarie has taught me that he's going to equip me with everything that I need, but if I don't know how to use it, it's not gonna do me any good. So we started praying weekly, and I started talking and confiding into Desmarie. I'm taking some of her time now. The same person I was so nasty to and rude to, but this is God's child. She didn't turn me away. She embraced me. She helped me through this. She's continuing to help me through this journey. And I remember I put it in the house and it was like $3,800 over the voucher, completely over the voucher. And the lady says, okay, I'll drop it down to 6, 7, whatever it was, a ridiculous amount that nobody would normally do. She dropped it to fix the voucher amount, to suit my needs. So I'm like, okay, now I'm in tears because that is only God. That is nothing but God. Desmarie says you gotta talk to him. Anytime you have a problem, you gotta talk to God. So now I'm walking around in my new house, my empty house, and I'm talking to God and praying to God and giving him his praise. And maybe a week after, 2 weeks after moving in, I had an interview. I'm telling Desmarie I got an interview with the city of LA. I just moved to Riverside. I can't take it. I can't do that drive. I can't do that commute. That's too much for me. She said, peacefully. She says, just peacefully. They ain't even offered you nothing yet. We're offered you nothing yet. Just go to the interview first. I said, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm over. I go to the interview. We have a conversation. We talk. They invite me back for another informal interview to see if things are they like me, I like them type of thing. They offered me the job. Now I'm back on the phone with Desmarie. They didn't offer me the job, but this time it's hybrid. I only go in office 2 days a week. And if something comes up with my kids, I have a supervisor where she's like, work from home today. It's okay, work from home today. I have to give God his praise at any given moment because that is only God that allowed these things to happen in my life. It allowed me to share my story with other women, to encourage them that when you're obedient and you follow his word, he has his children. So I'm terrified of public speaking, but I had to share this story because the connection is just ironic. Only God can allow this to happen. I did not meet Desmarie by accident. I read her book before I even knew her. I loved your book and I was nasty to you. How are you so detailed? My supervisor was like, oh, you put detail on the resume, but you never. It was like her little joke, but I hope this book encourages many more women. I'm going to continue to share my story. The book, my first book is out on loaner now. I have my second book. I hope that it brings peace, the same peace that it brought in my life. It brings encouragement.